Good morning. My name is Taylor Hartsfield, and I will be focusing my discussion on sleep deprivation and its effects on driving and on the job safety. This is a public health issue that many health professionals like myself should be concerned about, and I will explain why. There's a significant amount of people in our country that are sleep deprived. 35% of adults get less than 7 hours of sleep when the optimal amount of sleep is between 7 and 8 hours per night. Sleep deprivation has physiological effects on the body. Short sleep duration is associated with cardiovascular morbidity and metabolic disorders which may lead to obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and hypertension. Short sleep duration can lead to a higher risk of coronary heart disease and stroke. People with short sleep duration are 1.48 greater times risk of developing and dying of coronary heart disease and 1.5 times more likely to have a stroke. Sleep deprivation leads to daytime sleepiness, which leads to car accidents and on-the-job accidents. In 2005, drowsy driving contributed to 100,000 motor vehicle accidents and 15,000 deaths. Sleep deprivation is the leading cause of daytime sleepiness. The most common cause of daytime sleepiness is insufficient sleep, which may reflect poor sleep hygiene or self-imposed or socially dictated sleep deprivation. The majority of physicians refuse to advocate the importance of sleep. Out of 121 primary clinicians, 43% included sleep-related questions. Sleep deprivation is now affecting those who are not sleep deprived at alarming rates. I've come up with two separate solutions for drowsy driving and on-the-job errors. However, each solution has one commonality. Everyone that has a job and drives will need to hold a mandatory sleep diary. To ensure validity and personalization, sleep goggles will be issued to each person and fitted for them by eye width, height, and circumference. The goggles will measure eye movements to record the amount of sleep. I already understand that there are exceptions to this rule. People with sleeping disorders and people that can prove their functionality with less than 7 hours of sleep will be considered differently. However, my focus today is on the average Joe that refuses to make time to make sleep a priority. In efforts to make the sleep diary portable, the information recorded on the goggles from each sleep session will then be downloaded on any electronic device that connects to the internet. And that information will be added to a sleep identification card, which will be the same size as a driver's license or credit card. My solution to lower the rate of sleepy driving will parallel the penalty for drinking and driving. Driving while sleepy is driving under the influence. If people can relate driving while tired to driving while drunk, this understanding will help lower the rates of drowsy driving. As a quick example, let's say a driver, Bob, gets into an accident where he rear-ends the person in front of him. When the police arrive to the scene, they will ask Bob for his license, registration, proof of insurance, and his sleep identification card. The officer will have a device to scan that card, and it will give him information for up to 7 days of his sleep being processes. If Bob falling asleep at the wheel was the cause of the accident, he will be penalized. His first offense will be a $300 fine. Second offense will be between 1 week and 6 months in jail and a 1-year suspension of his license. Third and final offense will be 6 months in jail and a 5-year suspension of his license. Let's say Bob was not the cause of the accident. How Bob will still receive the $300 fine because he was sleep deprived and could have potentially avoided the accident had he gotten more sleep. When it comes to insufficient sleep at the workplace, every location will now have a no-tolerance policy for the lack of sleep. If a mistake occurred, there will be an on-site report detailing the specifics of the accident. What time, where, who was involved, and the seriousness of the accident will be detailed on the report. If the mistake on the job was not serious but due to insufficient sleep, a warning will be given. If the mistake on the job affects other employees or customers in a non-harmful but significant way, the employee will be suspended for 3 days. This will be evaluated by a board and the decision will be made regarding them returning to work. If the mistake harms a coworker or customer, then that decision will not be negotiated and the employee will be dismissed immediately. I do not just want to give out punishments and not rewards, so for people that get the required amount of sleep 90% of the time of the year will get 15% off their car insurance every month and or a 4% of their yearly salary added to their 401k annually. Once again, my goal is to lessen the amount of driving on the job accidents due to insufficient sleep. By targeting people who drive and have jobs, this will force the majority of the U.S. population to understand the seriousness of getting the required amount of sleep needed. Thank you for listening, and I hope all of you will be on board for the implementation of my ideas. Now I'm opening the floor for questions.